my name is Mariah O'Grady, and I studied abroad in Spain 2014 to 2015. I spent 10 months in Valencia, Spain, and it was a great experience. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. One of my favorite memories of Spain was doing the Camino de Santiago. So we walked 120 kilometers in 5 days. It was very exhausting, but through walking with other exchange students from all areas of the world, I learned a lot about the culture of other places, not only Spain. We got to stay in hostels and slept on the ground or in like rooms with a ton of other people, and it was just a really good way to facilitate communication and really get to know perspectives of other people in their countries. It was a very tiring experience. So you saw how different people dealt with exhaustion as well, but it was something that when we completed is definitely my proudest moment. The food in Spain was the best food I've ever had. We would have paella or fideuà on Sundays, and like my host mom would spend literally 3 hours making this giant rice dish. I had studied Spanish for 3 years before I studied abroad, and so I had a good basis, but not all the Americans who went abroad had experience with Spanish. So I definitely encourage you, even if you don't speak the language, to be willing to go abroad, and you'll catch on. I was fluent by the time I came. The classes I took in Spain were math, Castellano, which is Spanish, English practice, PE, philosophy, physics, and chemistry, which is one class, and that was rough. Biology and geology, which is one class together. Valenciano, which is the dialect in Valencia that a lot of people spoke. Luckily, they would speak to me in Spanish because I didn't know any Valenciano. And in that class, usually the teacher would just let me do homework for other classes or like read a book in Spanish. And we had a philosophy class that really piqued my interest in philosophy, and now I am in philosophy club at my school, even though I'm not a philosophy major, minor, and it's been fun thinking about the greater. I played tennis in the Polideportivo, which is like the sports center kind of, and it was really fun taking lessons, meeting people through that. In Spain, people eat at different times than in the United States, so for breakfast, which is like 8 a.m., 7 a.m., depending on when work starts, usually you'll just have like a hot beverage and like maybe a couple cookies or a piece of toast with diced tomatoes and olive oil. At 11 a.m., you eat a bocadillo, which is a little sandwich that will essentially tide you over until you eat lunch at 2:30 or 3:30, around there, which seems really late for us Americans, but you know, somehow like you make it and it doesn't seem that big of a deal. Like I got used to it, and that's the biggest meal. It's usually very delicious. I just like remembering the lentils that my like family made. I don't know why I like the lentils so much. I think it was just, anyway, it was very, very good lentils. Such good lentils. And then after lunch, sometimes you eat fruit. And dinner is anywhere between 9 and 10 p.m. and it can be pushed back because if you have like a later lunch. And a lot of times it's not usually a big meal. It's like maybe a small sandwich or some meat and cheese, something like that. And then you have fruit again, if you want to, or yogurt, or tea. The hardest moment of my exchange was when I had to switch host families, and I was 5 months into this family. I had, developed relationships with my siblings, with my classmates, with my teachers, and it was really sad to say goodbye to all of them and move to a new city. But I loved my second host family. They were very loving and welcoming, and my classmates there were very fun and invited me to things. I never really had a major issue with making friends because people are kind of interested to hear about where you're from, and I think if you just take the initiative and aren't afraid to be like, hey, do you want to go get frozen yogurt or something, just putting yourself out there, as cliche as it sounds, is what works, and it will create really meaningful friendships, because I still stay in touch with my friends from Spain now 5 years later, so it's awesome.